All right, new day and another laptop that needs to be saved, and this time we have a Dell G7 7500. This gaming laptop was sent in because it no longer is displaying anything on the screen, and it's giving like a 2.8 error code, so I haven't taken a look at this yet. Let's take a look together and see if we can get this figured out. All right, let's see if it turns on. Can't tell if it's turning on or not. There's no lights coming on when I press the power button. It does look like they have a new screen on here. So it has a protective film. It looks like it has a glossy screen on here of some sort. It looks like a new screen's been installed, and they said that they're getting like some sort of 2.8 error code, which usually points to an LCD issue. Let's plug in the power, see if we can get this thing to power on. So keep it on the power meter. I see it says 0.02 on the amps. And I'm gonna press the power button. Okay, so it is powering on, and we got about 4.5 amps. So let's see, and I do have the lights coming on here on the front. This is a gaming laptop, so it has a lot of LEDs. This is an older G Series machine. It has a 10th gen, so this would be like a 2020 model. Let's just see if we get an error code anywhere. Error code's gonna be on the side. Let's see what it says. And I did hear it just boot the Windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are getting a 2.8 error code, and I did hear the Windows login screen, but we aren't getting anything on the screen. So I'm assuming, I don't have any backstory in this. They just said that the laptop's giving a 2.8 error code and there's not getting anything on the screen. I see a new screen's been installed. Maybe they cracked their screen, they installed this, and then it no longer would display anything, or maybe the screen stopped working, so then they replaced this. I mean, I don't get the whole story, so let me shut this thing back down. I'm just gonna have to hold down the power button because I can't see anything on the screen. But I did hear it boot the Windows, so we know the machine's functioning. So now we got to figure out why we're not getting a picture on the screen. Most likely we have some sort of damage on the LCD connector, or we have a blown fuse. Now, the common thing that ends up happening with these types of machines whenever our people are changing out LCD screens is they don't unplug the power or the battery from the machine before they unplug or start messing with the LCD ribbon cable. There's voltage constantly at the LCD connector, okay? There's 19 or 20 volts from the charger. It's gonna be sitting there on the backlight fuse. There's gonna be the control board that gets power. There's quite a bit of stuff. So the rule of thumb is always unplug the battery when you're messing with the LCD screen. So let's open it up and take a look inside. All right, and the bottom is off. Take a quick look around. We have the main battery here. It looks like a Dell OEM, has that serial number sticker. There's one NVMe slot. It looks like Wi-Fi, 2 sticks of memory, and then here's the fans, the heatsink. So everything looks very clean here. We're gonna have to take this rear cover off in order to access the LCD connector. So let me do that. All right, we have the rear cover off, and there's still more stuff covering up the LCD connector. There's another little plastic cover here. All right, so I have this plastic cover off, and here's where the LCD plugs in. Let me put this off to the side. And before I start messing around with anything, I'm gonna unplug the battery because that's what we're supposed to do before we even start getting over here. All right, so the battery's unplugged. Let's get under the microscope and take a closer look at this LCD connector. Let's see if the connector looks damaged at all or if there's any pins bent. Sometimes there's fuses in this area, sometimes there's not. I've rarely had to change out a fuse to actually fix an LCD screen. Let me flip this up and take a look at the connector itself. Pins look okay there. Unfortunately, there's not much I can see here without really taking the board out, but what I wanted to look for was any like ripped off components, things like that, or sometimes the connector's actually ripped, or pins are messed up here. But this is like a straightforward install, so I don't really understand how it could went awry. They also could be installing a screen that's not compatible, so I don't know if they are upgrading screens or trying to get a different frequency, higher frequency. This looks like a new cable too, see how it has the sticker here? So I don't know the whole story. So I may end up having to get a test screen, and maybe that's the best plan of action next is to get a test screen. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that actually. So since I specialize in Dell and Alienware laptops exclusively, I have pretty much every single model of Dell laptop that they've made. I have a test machine for each one, so I can just walk out to the warehouse, grab the test machine, and we'll have a complete assembly. I can just plug into this, and that way we can just test the board. We can rule out whether it's the motherboard causing the issue or if it's just the screen itself, so I'll be right back. All right, so here's my G7 7500 test machine. We can take a look inside. It's already kind of in pieces here, but we use this when we're testing motherboards or testing all the different parts. So let me plug this one in, make sure we get a picture with this setup, and then we'll transfer it over and see if we get a picture on the other one. Sometimes we have to make sure our test machines still work because we test so many different parts every single day, and so we sometimes damage our own test machines when we're doing this. This will take a second because it's going through a CMOS reset. All right, so I'm getting a 2.3 error code on the side. It means I don't have memory installed. Oh, there's memory right there. Let me reseat this memory. Maybe it was a 2.4. Let me make sure all the stuff's plugged in. Again, we're constantly unplugging stuff, plugging things into these test machines because we're testing motherboards, or we're testing screens, or we're testing palm rests, or we're testing fans. And we want to make sure what we're testing with is working before we confirm that it's not working on some other machine. And I could just as easily take their screen and move it over to this one too. So, but I just want to make sure all this is working. So we got these lights working now. Okay, here we go. All right, so we are getting a screen successfully on here. So we know that the screen's working. We know this motherboard's working. So we can always pull their screen, put it on here. We can always put our screen onto theirs. So I think the next step would be to pull this screen, plug it into their machine, make sure everything's working, or at least verify that their motherboard's working. If we're still getting a 2.8 when we plug in this test screen in there, then we know we have a motherboard issue. All right, so I have their battery unplugged. Now we're just gonna unplug their LCD screen and we'll plug in our test one. I don't even have to install it, which is nice. All right, I'm turning on their laptop and we got a Dell screen. So I have a Dell screen, but it's very dim. So it means the backlight is probably burned out or a backlight fuse. So we have some sort of issue powering the backlight, but we are getting a picture. Okay, so we have two things happening here. So I want you to kind of think about this. So with their screen plugged in, and we're not getting a screen error anymore, are we? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're still getting a 2.8, actually. What I want you to think about is, on this one, we're not getting a picture at all. And on this one, we are getting a picture, but it's very dim. I don't know. Can you even make it out on there? Let's see. I mean, you can kind of see some writing on there, right? So there's some writing on the screen. I'm in the BIOS. I can kind of see it. It's very faint. But that's the part of the backlight circuit, so that's going to be the 20-volt line that's always plugged in. So if you're messing with a screen and you plug it in, you can blow that out very easily. The other part is the 3.3 VDD that powers the circuit board that controls the screen. But we still could have a screen issue, a cable issue. We definitely have a motherboard issue, so we're going to have to pull the motherboard out. I'm going to plug their screen back in. I want to see if I just kind of missed that there was a dim screen. Maybe that's a possibility, so let me unplug this. It's off, and battery's still unplugged. I'm going to hook their screen back up. All right, that's reattached. I'm going to look very closely this time. Now, I may have just missed it before, but I'm going to peel this back, turn it on. I'm going to go into the BIOS like I did before on this one. The fact that it gives you a 2.8 error even with the dim screen, which is kind of strange. Normally it doesn't do that. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on here. I'm not seeing it fire up at all. I'm not seeing any type of picture. Sometimes you'll see the polarization or something like that change in the screen. I'm not seeing that either. Like it's trying to produce an image or even a black image. So I don't know if this is an incompatible screen. I don't know if it's a wrong cable. I don't know if it's not plugged in. I have no idea. So I guess let me pop open their screen just to take a look inside of here. Let me see if they bought this from us. There's a serial number here. I can look this up and see if this was purchased from my company or if it was purchased from somebody else. Let me look that up. I'll be right back. All right, so I don't see these serial numbers in our database, so I don't think we sold them at least this cable. Now, if this cable came on a complete assembly, that could be something that's going on. This type of film cover kind of looks like an aftermarket screen or not a genuine Dell screen. Screens are still made by, LG or Samsung, like real manufacturers, but Dell OEMs them and put their own sticker on them. So it's not always 100% the same. I'm going to set this off to the side. If they want that film on there, I'll put it back on there. Actually, I'm going to call the customer. Let me do that because I want to get more of the story. And the thing is without story or context, it's kind of hard to proceed at this point, right? Because we're guessing, we start tearing apart some things. I know for a fact right now we can fix the motherboard. I'm gonna have to pull the motherboard out and then we can fix the backlight issue. Maybe we should do that first before we start messing with the screen. And then we can try to figure out why they were changing out the screen or why the screen looks new and what they were doing. So let me call them and I'll be right back. Okay, I just got off the phone with the customer. I got a little more details. He said that this is his daughter's laptop and the screen was like doing some sort of flickering issue and then finally kind of went out. And so he ordered a new screen off of Newegg and installed it. He followed all the correct instructions, unplugged the battery, things like that, put it back together and was getting a 2.8 error, which is the LCD power rail failure. And so that's whenever he stopped and he said, okay, I'm going to send it into parts people and see if we can get this figured out. He did follow all the right procedures, and so what I'm trying to figure out, in the screen that he purchased actually was a complete assembly too. So it was already sealed together. It wasn't like he pieced it together and put a screen in there and a cable, things like that. So it should work just fine. I think the next plan of action would be to, let's pull the motherboard out, let's fix the backlight, let's get it working with my test screen, and then we'll reattach the screen. I did look it up. He has an OLED screen. That's what he purchased, was a UHD 4K OLED screen. I believe those OLEDs actually need the backlight power rail to actually function to even put a picture on the screen. So let's fix the backlight circuit and then we'll proceed. But unfortunately, we will have to pull this motherboard out. So the next step is pull the motherboard out, and with magic, the motherboard is out. All right, so let's take a quick look around, see if we can identify what the backlight circuit is. Usually it's on the back side of the board, but it could be right around here too. I'm not super familiar with the 7500 G Series because I don't work on that often. Mainly working on Alienwares and XPSs at this point. But it's going to be somewhere around here. We're going to see if we can see a fuse. A fuse would be nice. We're also going to look for any cracked components or blown components. There's a fuse right there. Let's check that fuse. And that fuse is blown. So they definitely did get lucky at this point. That's what fuses are for, to try to prevent any damage to anything else. And so that fuse did blow out. Let me go ahead and get a new one installed. Hopefully that will fix the OLED issue, because if there's some other issue that's not allowing the picture to show on this new screen, then I'll have to return that screen and then maybe buy one from us or something like that, or maybe use a different version, because I don't know if this thing was shipped with an OLED or not. But let me get this removed and we'll get a new one of these installed. So I'm kind of excited. I don't get to change fuses out that often. Usually it's going to be some other burned component or something like that. I've probably changed out a total of, or less than 10 fuses ever, actually. So it's pretty crazy, right? I wish laptop manufacturers would put more fuses in their machines, but maybe they would blow too often. I don't know. If they had it on every power rail, they probably would blow out too easy. All right, we got that guy off of there. We'll add a little bit of flux. I didn't put any flux when I took it off, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of flux when I put it back on. That will help the solder flow and attach to the actual fuse. And there we go. Nice and new. Fuse is installed, it's all cleaned up. Let's just test it, make sure that it is conducting properly. Now we're getting a beep. So now the screen should be able to get that 19 volts that it needs in order to power the backlight, and hopefully that will resolve the issue with the OLED screen. I'm not 100% that is the cause, but it seems logical to me. Let me get it quickly installed and then we can test that screen. I actually kind of like this design. Look at this. The fans, you could just take the fans out anytime you want. You can clean the heat sinks. This is very user serviceable for being a gaming laptop. Most of the time the fans are all attached. The fans plug in on the opposite side of the board, or the heat sink's on the opposite side of the board, and you have to pull the whole thing apart. So this is actually a pretty good design. All right, we got it back together. The question is it gonna work? Doesn't look like it so far. Now, I did unplug the CMOS battery, so we could be going through a CMOS reset, so let's just give it a little extra time. We're up to 4 amps now. We should be getting a picture any moment now. Got a keyboard backlight, and we got a Dell screen. Boom! Okay, so, so that did solve the issue. Okay, so for future reference, for sure, if the backlight circuit is not powered up, then an OLED screen will not display a picture. So on other screens, they are LCD, and so the backlight circuit is just the LEDs that light the back of the screen, and the LCD pixels are what's powered by the 3.3 volt power rail. This one actually uses that 19 volts, or requires it to display a picture. Now, here's the real question. This is what I wanted to think about. If this customer did everything right, followed the procedure, unplugged battery, how could this happen? How could the backlight circuit or that fuse get blown? When I think about this, the way that this ribbon cable connects, it's very easy to put it in a crooked manner. So the battery's unplugged right now. But if I plug this in and then plugged it in like that, look at that. So it's plugged in, you see that? But it's hard to tell if it's plugged in. Whenever I was actually installing this LCD ribbon cable, it was kind of hard to get the seat down properly. So that's what I'm assuming probably happened, is that it went in a caddy corner situation there. But the good news is I was able to resolve this issue, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. And thanks for watching.
I saved another laptop.